And we're live for episode 126. Sorry for the late reaction. I'm your host, Brandon Capozziello. With me, as always, is Justin Ray. It is a fine Thursday morning, Justin, of September 14th, 2023. Week one is in the books. Week one was I won't swear yet, a phenomenal week for Mr. Brandon right here. A phenomenal week. I mean, not only did I beat Justin in both our bets, 2 dinners, doubled up, but I also went a perfect 6-0 in my fantasy football leagues. 6-0. And am in tie for second in our weekly pick'em, Justin. I am feeling great. I am feeling good. The only negative is that the Denver Broncos absolutely, and I really want to swear on this one, but I will not yet, screwed me because I put in I think it was a 9-leg parlay, Justin. And if the Broncos won, they were the only team that didn't win, right? If they won, Justin, I would be sitting here with you with over $1,800 in my pocket on a free bet. But I'm doing great, Justin. How are you doing this fine Thursday morning?
Well. Do you hear me? You hear me?
I hear you.
Well, you know what? You would have been sitting there with $1,800 if you just listened to me, because I did say the Raiders were going to win that game. And you know what? You want to brag about where you finished in the, our Yahoo Pick'em thing. I think I had 10 games correct. So I finished a nice 10-6. That's a nice way to start. That's not bad. So considering I think I had the Titans wrong. I had obviously the Giants. I don't want to talk about that one. That one was ugly.
We're going to talk about that one, Justin.
The Vikings I had wrong.
Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about that one, too.
And that was it. There were a few that, could have went either way. If Ryan Tannehill doesn't throw 3 picks, I'm in the same boat as you.
Yes, Justin, you are currently tied for third with Chris and JQ, my brother Chris and JQ. And I'm tied for second with Nick, who's been on the show before. You haven't been able to meet him yet. And then number one is my boy Tommy, who is a Jets fan, so he's not,
Hey man, well
Justin, I gotta be honest with you. Seeing the reactions, I don't know if you saw the reaction of the Barstool Sports guys watching that game, because I guess they were like all Jets fans watching it. Just the reactions, it's like honestly, get a couple days later, really letting it digest what happened. Obviously, we're talking about the Aaron Rodgers has torn his ACL,
Achilles.
Apologies. Aaron Rodgers has torn his Achilles, which is even worse, like 10 times worse, in my opinion. You really start to be like, what would you have felt if you were a Jets fan in that moment? Because I really just feel like I probably would have dropped to the floor and stayed there for a very long time and just not been able to do anything.
Well, I mean, you and I have been in the shoes, but we were just a little bit younger. I know the storyline is completely different.
With Brady, with
Brady tore his ACL, but the biggest difference for us was we knew we'd have Brady back. We'd get Brady back. He was still relatively young.
Yeah, and he was our quarterback. We've seen him play. This was literally the debut. This would be like kind of a similar way would be like when Brady was going into the 2007 season and he had Welker and Randy, and it was like, okay, what's going to happen? But even that is, I don't even think this has never been seen before. We're going to get into it right now. Let's dive right into it.
We're ready.
Jets versus Bills fallout. Aaron Rodgers is out for the season, and I'm hearing that the recovery time is from anywhere to 9 to 12 months, if I'm not mistaken. Some people, it could take up to 18 months, I've heard. He went on Instagram, I think it was yesterday, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was.
And, he put a little bit of a description, whatever you want to say, and Gave some positive words, and then the final phrase was, I believe, the dark is what was it, Justin? Do you remember? The dusk is always something to the dawn, and the thing, the light will come. I am the light. Whatever the fuck. Okay, you know what I'm talking about.
I'll read the
Aaron
quote.
Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers is what he's doing. Pulling out these quotes, which I love, and it's awesome. If you could find it, that'd be cool. But
He said, "The night is darkest before the dawn, and I shall rise yet again." Proud of my guys, 1-0.
exactly. Jets. Questions to be answered, Justin. Let's start first off, right? You kind of hinted at it. Is Aaron Rodgers done?
Oh well, the what I just read to you tells me otherwise. I think Aaron Rodgers will be back. There's no way a person of his caliber, a player of his caliber, to go out in this way and not give it one more go. I think Aaron Rodgers was excited to be a Jet. I think he wanted to be a part of this team and see where it goes. I think I had high expectations for this Jets team, and I'm sure he did as well. So I can't see him just saying, "Oh well, I played 4 snaps and that's the end of my career." Absolutely not. I could see him coming back playing for the Jets next season, and everything will be fine and dandy. But onto the injury in itself, I don't think it's been quite a while to see an athlete, and I don't even know who I can compare this to, but to see an athlete come in and immediately be so connected with a team and with a city without even taking a single snap. Just walking onto the field was electric. My cousin was at the game, and he told me that was the loudest that he's ever heard MetLife Stadium. The loudest. And he's been there for the game where Ryan Fitzpatrick threw the touchdown to beat the Patriots. Yeah. He's seen some awesome moments.
Justin, was he? So he was there.
Yeah.
He's obviously the Jets fan. What was his, how the air was, I would imagine.
Yeah, he said you could hear a pin drop. The air got taken out of the stadium, and almost immediately you knew that he was done. When he first attempt, this is a quote from my cousin. He was talking about when he saw the injury. He said he had a direct eye view to it, and he said, once you saw him get up and just go right back down again, you knew it was over. You knew it was over. And as much as this is me putting my Patriots fandom aside, this is just me talking about football. This is horrible. This is one of the things that you really just hate to see, for the simple fact that I think football is better when, and I know I say this a lot even when it comes to basketball, but I really do believe that sports are better when a New York team is involved in the running for the championship or for the playoffs. I just feel like it either brings positivity or it brings negativity, and fans hate New York. So it makes for a fun story. So I think a lot of people were looking forward to seeing what the Jets would have been, and seeing their season collapse literally in 4 snaps. So it's heartbreaking, especially for an organization and fan base that has been longing for this moment for so long. You can reach for people in the draft. You can go with Sam Darnold's, Mark Sanchez, the Geno Smiths of the world, all these quarterbacks that they've had cycling through, even to Zach Wilson, who's now their starting quarterback again. They've longed for this moment. I know they compare it sometimes to the injury of Vinny Testaverde way back in 99 after a 12-win season in 98. But this is completely different. Vinny Testaverde, while they had big dreams and big hopes, he's not Aaron Rodgers. You have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time under center wanting to play for your organization. This is an absolute blow for the Jets team, absolute blow for the Jets fan base, and I absolutely feel horrible for them.
I mean, Justin, you literally, you couldn't say it better of what you said. To answer the initial question, right? Are the Jets, is Aaron Rodgers done? Right. And what I will say is this. My initial thought would be he's 39. He's going to be 40. Torn Achilles. This isn't ACL. This isn't, an MCL. This isn't a sprain. This is a torn Achilles. This is arguably one of the worst injuries you could possibly suffer besides a head trauma or a neck injury or something like to your vertebrae, right? This is up there. Like this used to be 20 years ago, Justin, this used to be a career-ending injury. Like your career is basically done. I don't think so. I'm gonna give Aaron Rodgers the due, whatever you want to say. I think his competitive spirit. I don't think he can go out like that. I truly don't. I don't think anybody would blame him if he did walk away. I don't think anybody would be like, come on, Aaron, like, come on, that was a weak move. Like, no, that's 40 years old. He's coming off a torn Achilles. He's got to go through rehab. Dark times, long time, grueling. Sucks. If you ask anybody who's went through rehab, it just sucks. It's just terrible because you gotta try and be focused on the future and the outcome and not what you're doing now. So it just sucks for him. And like you said, I echo all your sentiments that you said before. It sucks for the league. This was the biggest storyline in football. Hell, this was the biggest storyline in sports. I mean, the moment was there. I was watching. I was like, okay, here we go. Like we're going now. And you kept repeating it 4 plays. I think it's 75 or 76 seconds. But I will say this quickly. And I tweeted this, and I didn't mean any malicious thing towards Rodgers. I'm talking about the Jets in general, the coaching staff. You reaped what you sow. Justin, what was the first play of the game for the Jets?
I didn't see the first play, so.
Okay. Breece Hall, 26 yards on a run. Breece Hall, 26 yards on a run. And then what's even worse is that you saw throughout the entire game, Justin, Breece Hall had it going. Dalvin Cook was getting 3 to 5 yards on almost every carry. They were running it down their throats. They get a 26-yard run on the first play of the game. What do they then proceed to do? Throw it 4 damn times in shotgun. 4 times. Three straight shotgun passes after they get a 26-yard run. That's just dumb play calling. That's stupid. I just wanted to get that out of the way. I think there is, like I said, I think there's a chance that Aaron Rodgers possibly walks away. And I don't think anybody's going to blame him, but I think a lot of people are saying, Aaron Rodgers is going to come back. He's going to give him 2 more years, and we'll see. Is he back to what he was going to be next season? That mobility is going to be even worse than what it has been, and it's been declining because of age, obviously. And one of the things that obviously the biggest thing that made Aaron Rodgers so special is the arm talent. He's got the greatest arm in NFL history. I don't want to hear it. But what also made that special was his mobility. He's going to have to be more of a pocket passer now. You just saw him try and do that. And we can all listen. We're not throwing shade on Aaron, but that was his fault. The sack was on him. Everybody's called it. It was a 3-step drop. It was supposed to be a quick pass. That's why the left tackle chopped. You got to get rid of the ball. Aaron thinking, oh, I'm still, in great shape. I feel like I'm 27 years old. I'm going to spin out of this tackle. And in training camp, he was out with the calf injury. I think his first snap was he was down. So, if you get a calf injury, that's just going to put more strain on your Achilles. And that Achilles it goes back to the Greek mythologies, Justin. I forget who the hell dipped Achilles in it, but he dipped him holding the Achilles tendon and basically saying this is the weakest part of a human's body. That's the whole moral of the story. That's the weakest part. It's like a rubber band around something. It's like literally a rubber band. It is very delicate. But next up, Justin.
No, I wanted to touch on what you said.
Oh, go ahead.
So you mentioned the play calling, and I understand what you mean, but I'm not going to be so hard on him. I listened to New York sports radio, people attacking Nathaniel Hackett for his play calling, and even saying that there were some plays that Aaron Rodgers, a large majority of the plays Aaron Rodgers doesn't like, and he tends to go to his own pre-snap. So about the play calling, I'm not going to blame that solely on his injury or say that's even part of it, because you mentioned the calf injury, and if the Achilles tendon was able to tear just like that, there was probably something lingering there. Any false move could have happened, and then it goes to the issue of turf. Turf can be another issue where so many seasons have ended, especially at MetLife Stadium specifically. So I think the real glaring issue would be the NFL really not protecting their players and going the grass route, where I think we are the only country that really pushes turf in sports.
Yeah. So Justin, this actually is an interesting conversation to have. So you obviously, we talked before the show if you're a fan of First Take and Undisputed, and I asked you, you obviously aren't a casual viewer of it, right? Or you are a casual viewer, you're not a hardcore viewer. So I don't know if you knew, but Roger Goodell was on the show yesterday at First Take. Steven interviewed him, and this was one of the topics was the turf and grass. And Roger Goodell blatantly just said, the turf, we go by science, right? Like we go by science, and the science does say, if you look it up, the science does say, the injuries are pretty much even on either side. You'll get the large contingent of people that say grass, right? And but you'll also probably have a bunch of players, and Justin, I'm sure people that prefer to play on turf. There are people out there. It's really just about preference. You can't please everybody, right? Roger even talked about the possible of a mixture, right? Of turf and grass, right? Will that be better? So they're exploring all opportunities, and I hear that. But I feel like that, and I've felt that way before, Justin, but I feel like this is what would happen if we went all grass, right? And then injuries started to happen still, because they're going to happen, right? People are going to be like, well, we're on grass. Well, let's go back to the turf, right? It's like, okay, go back to you can't please anybody, right? Everybody. So I think it's just like this one. I think it's it's not so to do with the turf or grass. I think it has to do with he's 39 years old. He had a calf injury in training camp. He had a calf injury last year. He's been injury prone before. I think all that adding up, it just kind of was not perfect, a terrible explosion at the end of the day. But next up, we asked how the Rodgers done. We don't believe that. Are the Jets done, Justin?
Super Bowl expectations? I'd say so, unless Zach Wilson lives up to the hype that he was supposed to be. Realistically, I'll be honest with you. So one report that I did hear, which is I'd say one of the Jets' saving graces to continue this season, is that Aaron Rodgers is going to stick around with the team. He's not disappearing now to just focus on the injury. He's still going to be working with the team, therefore meaning he's going to be helping out Zach Wilson. And if any of you guys had sat down and watched a little bit of Hard Knocks, you can instantly tell the difference in Zach Wilson with Aaron Rodgers present. Having that guy to lean on who's seeing these reads that you normally wouldn't pick up. And Zach Wilson looks like a better quarterback because of it. So I'm not going to say the Jets season is done. I think this is still a possible playoff team. I think their defense is still legit. I mean, we saw it on Monday night, what they did to Josh Allen and 3 picks. I think the Jets are still a special unit. I think Zach Wilson is going to benefit from having Aaron Rodgers in the building. Last year, Zach Wilson had him in position before that Patriots debacle in New England, before they benched him. Jets were on their way to a playoff spot or contending for one. The second they pulled him, things start to look a little bit different. I do believe this Jets team is still going to find a way to squeak into the playoffs. I think their defense is just too good to not let them. It's just going to be now. The question is Zach Wilson. And I understand the moans and the groans, the shaking of the head. Oh, Jets need to go get themselves another quarterback. They should have stuck with Mike White, all this stuff. But realistically, we're looking at a former number 2 overall pick who's been going through a lot of shit in the NFL. Now, like I said, Aaron Rodgers there, sitting there, helping call plays and getting him prepared for his games. I think this is going to be the best version of Zach Wilson we see. Now, they have an upcoming game against Dallas, whose defense is just as good, if not better, than the Jets. So immediately he has a tall task ahead of him. But I'm not going to define his season off of one game against one of the best defenses in football. I'm expecting Zach Wilson to have actually a pretty good season. I think I'm not going to say he's going to go out there and win an MVP, but if this guy really his only fault is his brain, it comes down to decision making when it comes to Zach Wilson because it's not his arm, it's not his athleticism. He has every tool possibly needed to be a successful quarterback in the NFL. So realistically, it comes down to his decision making. It's the IQ. And if he can narrow that down, give me the Jets to still win 9+ games.
Jets are done. The Jets are done. Okay.
What's done?
Well, okay, so obviously the Super Bowl aspirations are done, right? The playoff aspirations are also done as well. The Jets are not making the playoffs. I'll give you this. Zach Wilson did look better on Monday night, right? His decision-making looked a little better, except for the interception where he threw basically into double coverage.
Yeah, he literally threw that right into Milano's hands. Yeah.
You know what? They won the game, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. And I really did love and like a lot the Zach Wilson, pumping up his teammates, just basically being like, you got this, bro. You got this, bro. We riding with you. But all that's fine and dandy. There's a reason they went out and got Aaron Rodgers, right? And even if they bring in another quarterback, which they're going to bring in another quarterback just because they need another body there. I do believe Zach Wilson is probably the best bet to go with right now. But over the next, 16 more weeks of the season, 15 more weeks, I think a Carson Wentz, I think somebody like that can come in and give you really good production. But even then, Justin, I'm going to say it again. The New York Jets are not making the playoffs. The New York Jets just went for me, and I had high aspirations for them too. I had them in the AFC Championship game. They just went from that. They just went from winning the AFC East. They're coming in last place in the AFC East. And that's not to say that they are a trash team. Their defense is top 5. That is inarguable. Their running game is much improved. They've got Garrett Wilson. But the offensive line still has question marks. And I'm not blaming them for the injury. I'm just saying we still have question marks for that offensive line. Mikael Becton is playing right now. Will that last the entire season? Knock on wood, it doesn't, but will that last? Dwayne Brown is 38 years old. And Zach Wilson, while he looked improved, while he looked better, he's not going to make this jump. He's not going to be this guy that is going to game manage. I believe he's going to – I hate saying he's going to get a little too big for his bridges again if they start – he starts doing good. And he's going to start trusting itself again, and decision-making is going to come real down. You're seeing that on the other side of the field against his opponent with Josh Allen. This guy believes he can make any throw in the league. And while he may be able to do that, sometimes it's just not the option. It's not the best option. And that comes down to, once again, what? Decision-making. So the Jets are – let's go through it, right? Let's go through the schedule real quick. We'll do I guess we'll go pick them, right? I mean, Jets, Cowboys. And Dallas is about to whoop their ass, I believe. Right? You're good. You got the Cowboys in Dallas. They're going to beat them.
Yeah.
All right. Then you got Jets, Patriots in New England.
No, it's in New York.
In New York, apologies. Not live yet.
This is the biggest game. This is a statement game. So last year, if I'm comparing games, Zach Wilson twice almost led the Jets to beating us. I mean, if it wasn't for a return punt last year, Jets probably win that game also. I'm actually gonna take the Jets at home this time.
I don't know what you're seeing. The Patriots are winning that game.
I know what I'm seeing. The thing is that in the reality of it, for me to make that decision, also we got to see more from New England. I saw a very good week 1 out of New England, but I also see an amazing defense with the Jets and potential explosion in the offense. So I just think that'll be a nail biter. It'll be a close one, and I think this is the kind of game Zach Wilson is going to need. That's a must-win game.
Okay, so I got them losing their next 2 games. You've got them going 1-1. Then the Chiefs come to New York. Who you got?
We got Kansas City.
I got Kansas City too. Then they go to Denver. Who you got?
I'm going to take the Jets.
Interesting. I'm going to take Denver even though they lost this week. Oh, shit. That's a no. Then Jesus Christ, their schedule is so insanely tough. Then the Eagles come to town.
You got to give it to Philly.
Okay.
And a nail biter.
Then they stay at home, but they're playing the Giants. That'll be interesting.
I'm taking the Jets.
What happened? What happened to your boys?
Yeah, bro. I'm still a believer in the Jets. I didn't change my mind.
You know what? I'll give them the win there. Then the Chargers come to town. I think they're. I take the Chargers.
And give me the Jets.
Oh my god. Okay, and another one of your boys. They go to Vegas.
I'll take the Raiders.
You're so weird with your predictions.
Oh, bro.
How do you not pick the Chargers, but you pick the Raiders?
You know what it is? What do you mean? How do I not pick the Chargers? Defense gets absolutely shredded.
The Raiders' defense is just as bad. It's even worse.
There's a big difference, bro. I really don't see you guys see this as just because this team is better, they're gonna get the win. That's not football.
I'm not saying.
So that's why I'm making picks, because you have to be reasonable and say, okay, there are going to be upsets.
Yeah, but there's reasonable, and then there's your love for the Raiders obviously shining through, and you're picking the Raiders.
No, it's not. It's not even that. I'm more high on the Jets than I am the Raiders.
All right, we're on the Raiders. I'll give the Raiders that game.
And I'll be honest, I think this pick'em is a little bit unfair because we've only seen teams play once. Like realistically,
but we did a predict. Justin, I'm not gonna. We're not doing that. Okay, because everybody does a prediction before the season.
And that's fine. We did a prediction before the season, but now we're redoing our prediction completely for
now we're just seeing with Zach Wilson now where the Jets are going to fall, because we all had him. You had him in the fucking Super Bowl.
And you have them going 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, 1-5.
I have them only winning 1 game to the fucking Giants.
That's my point.
Because they're not. Because again, with this, dude, their schedule is really, really tough. Really, really tough.
I understand that, but hear me. We're changing our entire opinions on this Jets team because of a massive injury. Understood. But going through the schedule, realistically, the Eagles did not look like defending NFC champs.
We're not saying that, but come on, man.
So that's my point. You don't know if these teams are going to be as good as they've looked in the past this season. The Eagles may not be the same team they were last year. The Chargers can be worse or more mistake prone. Brandon Staley is probably on the verge of being fired. So we're looking at the Chargers. The Raiders just pulled off a win on the road in Denver with Jimmy G as their quarterback.
Don't bring that up ever again.
That's my point. Miami looks absolutely ridiculous to a throw for 466 to open the season. So you can't say it's very quick to change opinions. Giants lose 40-0 on Sunday night.
Yeah, I told you. I told you they were going to get their asses handed.
But that's not my point. Is these teams may look massively different in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, and the sun is going to shine tomorrow, Justin. I can tell you 100 different things. Yes, teams are going to look different, but we're making predictions. And now you're going to come at me because
You came at me because I'm
coming at you. I'm not coming at you.
Yeah, you did. Just because I said the Jets will beat the Chargers, I have the Jets beating New England, and I have the Raiders beating the Jets.
You're like, we're going to get through the schedule.
You're saying it makes no sense.
Are we going to get through the schedule? Or are we going to get through the schedule?
Yeah, I'm just saying. All I said was I think it's unfair, and then you took offense.
Listen, I know you took a lot of L's this weekend, all right?
I went 10-6. I went 10-6 and won in 2 fantasy leagues.
This guy, to me.
I got my W's.
Me and you. I know you took a lot of L's this week to me, but it's okay.
I don't even remember our bets.
Yes, you do.
All I remember was Baker.
Yeah, and you remember the Giants getting beaten down by because I gave you +7.
Ah,
Yeah.
it should
I
happen.
gave you a freaking +30.
This is about the Jets.
We gotta get through the schedule.
Let's go through the rest.
All right. What are the Bills? The Jets go to Buffalo.
I'm going to take the Bills.
Okay, you're taking the Bills. That's good. I'm gonna take the Bills too. Then the Dolphins come to town.
Ooh, Friday night? That's weird. Friday at 3
Is that
p.m.
Black Friday? Black Friday.
Friday at 3 p.m. I'm going to take Miami.
We're taking Miami. I'll take the Jets. Falcons come to New York. I'm taking the Jets.
Jets.
See, I'm being fair. Objective. I'm always objective. Houston comes to town. I'll take the Jets. See, look, I'm being objective. Yeah, 3 straight wins. I got them winning 3 straight games. You're talking about I'm not objective.
Yeah, after them losing like $1 million.
Well, you know what? There's peaks and valleys, Justin. Peaks and valleys. Okay, who you got? Houston.
That's a peak. For which one? Jets and Texans? Jets.
Yeah, you're a peak. It's actually a compliment. The Jets go to Miami. Who you got?
I got Miami.
All right, so you got Miami. Yeah, I have them splitting, so I'll take Miami. Commanders come to New York. I'll take the New York.
I'm going to take Washington.
Ooh. The last 2 games going to Cleveland. I'm taking Cleveland.
I'm taking the Jets.
You didn't learn. You're gonna. And then the Patriots. I'm taking the Pats.
I'm taking New England and New England.
Okay, good. At least we can agree on that. So I have them going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 and 11. I have the New York Jets with Zach Wilson finishing 6 and 11 this season, now without Aaron Rodgers. Justin is currently going through his. Justin, I have yours written down if you want me to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got them 9 losses and
8 and 9. Yeah.
8 and 9. So I have them 6 and 11, and Justin has the Jets finishing 8 and 9. Not that far off, I feel like. See, it's not that far off. There was no.
I don't know. Two wins is far off.
Well, things happen, right? I don't think we need to bring this up. Did the Jets make a mistake? I don't think either of us think they made a mistake. You had to go all in.
Yeah, you go.
I mean, yeah, could you have went for Lamar? Sure, but you couldn't have foresaw this, right?
No, I mean, realistically, that's just a freak accident. You can't predict shit like that. And unfortunately, shit just does happen. So now you're in this position. These are the cards you dealt. Now you got to go play with them.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, so Justin, who now with Aaron Rodgers out for the season, who's going to win this AFC East? Because we both had the Jets winning. The Bills just took a L. Dolphins to you say look ridiculous. Me, not really. And the Patriots look pretty damn impressive against the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, now the AFC East landscape is flipped completely. What I thought would be a sure thing for the Jets, even though, granted, it's a tough division regardless, even with Aaron Rodgers in it or not. It opens the door for the Bills. I think people are going to overreact to week 1 and say all this stuff about Josh Allen when in the reality of things, he struggles against the Jets. I think has 9 touchdowns to 10 interceptions in his career against the Jets. I could be saying that wrong, but I don't think I am. This is something that he does against this team specifically. So, yeah, I'm correct. 9 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. He always throws picks against this team. His last couple of games, all the games he played last year against the Jets, were probably his toughest of the season. So it's clear this defense gives him fits, and that's exactly why I picked the Jets to win that game. They did exactly what I expected to do. So I'm not going to be too hard on the Bills, but at the moment, I'm going to ride this train, and I'm going to say Miami. I believe Miami will win the division now. Aaron Rodgers gone? This is an opportunity for Tua and the boys to step up. I think last year They got off to a fantastic start. I think they were 7-3 at one point, and they fell off a cliff. I think now, second year with Mike McDaniels, I think you have a chance to, right your wrongs. And I think they're on their way to doing that. I think that game, that week one win, and I know we talk about week ones being so, so much of a toss up, but I think that was a statement, fighting back from down a couple of points. You see Tua making some big time throws. I think the connection between Tyreek Hill and Tua is absolutely legit. I think they know how to work well with each other. And as much flack as Tua gets for his arm strength, I don't know, 466 passing yards looks pretty damn good to me. So he's going into a game against New England now in week 2. I don't think Tua's ever lost a game to New England. I think this Miami team is very scary. Their offense can play against any defense.
Any defense. Okay. They beat a fraudulent Chargers team that we all know is fraudulent. They beat a defense that has stars on the field, but they don't play like stars. You've got a defense with a Derwin James, an Asante Samuel, a J.C. Jackson, a Joey Bosa, and a Khalil Mack.
I thought you had the Chargers making the playoffs.
No, I do not.
No?
I have them winning 10 games. I don't have them making the playoffs. I was high on them last year, and then I saw what happened, and now I know what the Chargers are, which is a fraudulent-ass team, just like the Vikings. The Chargers are what we all know they are, and Brandon Staley is going to lose his job. This guy is a defensive-minded coach. That is why he was brought in. And you, in your last 2 fucking performances, buddy, had led up an insane comeback to Trevor Lawrence where he throws 4 interceptions the first half. And then on week 1, you give up 36 points. And then we talk about the Dolphins. The Dolphins are this team to beat now. Their defense is not that good. They just let up 34 points. They're not this scary team. Okay, their offense is, yes, they've got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Who the hell is going to sneeze at that? Nobody. We know Tyreek Hill elevates people. We know I've called Tyreek Hill the best wide receiver in football for the past couple of years. And people look at me like I got 3 heads. And I said it's because he possesses something that no other player in the NFL possesses. Game-breaking speed. Now you've got another guy on the other side of the field in Jalen Waddle, who also possesses that game-breaking speed. And we're going to sit here and say Tua is more system than anything. He is more system than anything. Okay, is he getting the job done? 100%. But this is another type of, and you know what, honestly, he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo. I'll give him that. He's better than Jimmy. I was going to compare him to Jimmy. He's better than Jimmy. Both injury prone. But he is dealing with the best receiver in football, the best weapon in football, arguably the scariest player in football, and then another guy on the other side of the field who also possesses 4.3, 4.2 speed. And a guy in Mike McDaniel who is starting to show you this man is an offensive genius. Justin, in the playoffs last year against the Bills, right? It wasn't Tua starting that game when they hung 30-plus points up, right? Who was the quarterback for that game?
Skylar Thompson.
Skylar fucking Thompson.
You're just proving my point.
What am I proving? That
Why?
they're that elite? No. This is not to come at your point. I'll get to that point in a second. All right. This is to show that everybody that's riding on the Dolphins and Tua's nuts is everybody relax. You brought it up. They started 7-3 last year, and then they lost 5 straight games. They lost, and they lost. I will say this, though. Mac Jones and Matthew Stafford had more impressive week 1s than Tua Tagovailoa. Those 2 were more impressive to me. I don't know if you disagree with that, but I completely that is my opinion, and I can make that argument. People, I think you'd lose that argument if you went against me on that one.
I think it is an argument, but also at the same time, 2 of those quarterbacks came away with wins, and two are getting a win.
And Stafford.
Mac
lost.
So.
But I'm talking about degree of difficulty. I like a level of competition. Like I said, the Chargers are a fraudulent-ass team. Their defense is fraudulent. The New England Patriots should have won that game. Let's all be honest. They had as many chances they could have if they had a guy that I've been called for, DeAndre Hopkins, they probably win.
Oh,
That
yeah, I mean,
the Eagles were
realistically, I don't even
basically
want to say.
handing that game to the New England Patriots.
No,
And then Matthew
agree.
Stafford goes out there and makes a guy in Puka and Tutu Atwell look like superstars. I had a great week, Justin. You know that, right? Stafford, you called him washed.
I never called him washed. Don't say that.
The injuries. You were questioning the injuries.
Yeah, I love Matthew Stafford. I've been a supporter of the Detroit Lions for a very, very long time, and I supported him.
So who will win the AFC East? Let me get down to it. Right, it's wide open. That I will. I don't think there's a clear-cut favorite. I know people are riding on the Dolphins, but like I said, I think it's completely wide open. I think the Patriots now have life. I think they looked super impressive against the Eagles, the reigning defending NFC champions. The Dolphins, like I said, they're an explosive ass offense, but their defense can easily be taken advantage of. And I'm always questioning, is Tua going to be healthy? And if I have that question mark, I cannot put a stamp of my approval on that. And then for the Buffalo Bills, your boy Joshua. Mm-hmm. So you say, people are going to overreact to week one, Justin. Week one. Justin, this is not just this year. This is not just this game. This is a reoccurring issue. He even said it himself. It's my fault. Again. I did it again. Justin, he had 7 turnovers in the red zone last year. Since last year, Justin, he has 20 interceptions. He's got 90 turnovers since he was drafted. That's the most in the NFL. Here's another one. Since he was signed to that massive contract in 2021, because people might bring up, since he was drafted 90, he had those 2 seasons before where he wasn't playing that well. Okay, since that great season in 2020, since 2021, when he signed that massive extension, he's had 41 turnovers in 31 starts. He's a turnover machine. And people want to protect him because they love the spirit. They love the fighting spirit of Josh Allen. But you gotta open your eyes, people. He continues to let them come up short. He continues to be the problem. You want to bring up 13 seconds? Okay. But then I ask you, did he peak in 2020 then? Because since then, what has he done in the playoffs? Because everybody was saying at that point, holy shit, it's Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. Oh shit, the Buffalo Bills are going to be in the Super Bowl the next couple of years. Mm-hmm. And then since then, this guy by the name of Joe Burrow has taken his spot and elevated that. People calling it Burrowhead. It's now Burrow versus Mahomes. And now the Buffalo Bills are being questioned. When Aaron Rodgers comes in, are you even the best team in your own division? It's wide open. And for my Patriots, looked impressive. Much more impressive than I thought they were. Mac Jones was slanging it, Justin. Mm-hmm. 316 yards. Give me a hell yeah. Shout out Steve Austin. 3 tubs. Kendrick Bourne, KB, Justin. Finally being able to show this talent that I've been preaching for since he was signed. I loved what I saw. Our defense is elite. We got the greatest head coach in football in history. People are counting us out. I don't know why everybody does it. I don't know why you're doing it.
I'm not.
All right. Do you want to respond to any of that, or do you want to get into? Because I can't wait to get into pick 'em because I can't wait to hear your.
Well, you never picked who's winning the division. You just said it's wide open.
I said it's wide open. I don't have a. But like I said, I'm not putting my sample.
You have to pick someone.
What happened?
You have to pick someone.
I think the Bills probably.
Okay.
I'd probably say the Bills are still the favorite. I can't listen. Even what I said about Josh Allen, I know he's going to put up 30 touchdowns unless he starts having a turnover year. I mean, you got. I don't know if you saw this. Michael Irvin, he's on Undisputed now. It's talking about Brian Dable, not Brian Dable. He's talking about Stephon Diggs, and it just always kind of showing up like you can't, Josh Allen. It's just this. Stop doing that.
Yeah, no, and listen, it comes down to Josh Allen's decision-making skills. Obviously, like I'm at the point where nothing he does actually surprises me. He could throw a 65-yard touchdown bomb and then take a 25-yard sack. Like he can rush for 45 yards and then hold on a ball too long and then fumble. Strip sack. So there's so many different things that you just won't surprise me by him. He's kind of that Brett Favre style. Yo, I'm slinging it and I'm getting rid of it. I'm gonna try my best to play hero ball, and he's aware that he gets in his own way. I think that's really just his biggest problem. But when I pick Miami to win, it's not me shitting on Buffalo or shitting on New England. Just like you, what I saw out of Week 1 from the Patriots was a lot better than I was initially expecting, and we fall down in that game early to a pick six, Zeke Elliott fumbling. I'm like, wow, we're in for a long game. And then defense really bunkered down to give us the opportunity. Mac was playing confident and feeling free and feeling loose. And that's kind of what you want to see. You want to see that aggressiveness out of him. But I'm not poo-pooing the Patriots. I think now with the Jets being not the Jets, not being with Aaron Rodgers, I think Patriots have just as good of a chance as anybody in that division. I just pick Miami based off of what I saw from them last year, and assuming a second year in the system, another year of Tua possibly improving. I mean, you look at Tua's stats over the last 3 years, his first 2 years, I think I forgot his touchdown to interception ratio, but last year throwing for 3,500 plus yards, 25 touchdowns, 8 picks. The guy's accurate. Right? He tries his best to make the right decisions. I think Tua's going to take another leap. That's why I pick Miami. So, but I do believe if this, in fact, is how the Patriots offense is, if Kayshon Boutte learns how to put 2 feet down on the ground when going to the sideline, getting to see what Tyquan Thornton is going to be when he comes back from injury. Mario looks optimistic. Hunter Henry looked like what he was supposed to be. He's a top tier tight end.
Didn't have Jack Jones yet. Still, Jack Jones is on IR.
Yeah, but that's the defense. I'm on the offensive side. I know the defense is going to be there. So offensively, if people seem to forget how good Hunter Henry actually really is, and I noticed that even in fantasy football drafts, but I think the Patriots are primed to take an absolute shot for first in this division as well. But like you said, it is wide open. But based off of what I've seen from Miami, I got to go.
All right, so let me just ask a quick question for you then, Justin. What's your level of concern percentage-wise of Tua's health then?
Honestly, obviously that's something that you think about in the back of your mind, but considering all the things that he's done in the offseason to prepare himself better for injuries, learning how to properly fall, I know for some people that might sound like it's stupid, but I think it's absolutely smart for somebody that has to deal with concussions over and over again. So he learned how to protect himself, and now it just remains to be seen. If he gets hurt, then yeah, Miami's probably not going to live up to the hype unless Mike White goes on an absolute tear. But that's really the case with every team in this division. Oh, yeah. If your quarterback goes down,
you're like the guy in the TikTok comments that I was arguing with. It's like everything. No, you're not getting my point. There's a difference between a Mac Jones getting injured and a Tua getting injured. Our concerns with Tua are not any hit can take out any player. Yes, 100%. Mm-hmm. But when you've had the concussions that Tua has had, even dating back to his Alabama days, you start getting concerned about this guy's overall well-being. It is different. It is 1,000% different. It is not this could happen to any player. We know that Tua is more susceptible. When you get injured like that, you're more susceptible to get injured like that again. So I don't want to hear bringing up, this is for any other team. No, it's not. This is different. This is different because this guy's retirement is on the table. So it's completely different.
Well, that's the thing. I think you didn't really quite understand what I was saying. When I'm not comparing the two, I'm saying, yeah, absolutely. If a quarterback goes down, your team is shot. But what I'm talking about with Tua is I'm not as concerned at the moment for the simple fact of what he did in the offseason to properly prepare himself.
Well, he should have took pro wrestling. If he wanted to learn how to fall, Justin, he should have took pro wrestling classes because that's literally their job. You have to learn how to fall. I didn't get nothing for that. All right, moving on to another thing. We'll just talk about this quickly because I have to get this out there, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll go on to pick them. How about them Cowboys? I'm going to steal a line from Mr. Michael Irvin, Justin.
A
40-point burger and a donut for dessert. Justin, I just got to ask you one question. Do you believe now?
In what?
Don't play coy. You know what I'm talking about. Don't play coy.
In the Super Bowl hype of the
You know what I'm talking about. Fuck is they
you know what? I will tell you, it's one thing that I already know is that defense is absolutely ridiculously scary. Like, just you've touched on the corners plenty of times talking about that cornerback duo. Micah Parsons is an absolute madman. So I expect great things out of the Cowboys defense. But I'm still not really sold so much on the offense. I haven't seen it. And you can't say we've seen anything from them this past week. Really, we haven't. So it remains to be seen. It's not like they had to do too much because their defense carried the load for them. I mean, we talk about your favorite Dak Prescott, 13 for 24, 143 yards passing. Okay. I'm not going to go crazy.
Well, he didn't have to do that much.
That's my point. So we hadn't.
But as long as you're not slighting him for not putting up big numbers, because he didn't, and I'm actually happy they didn't have him throwing the ball all over the place because it was unnecessary to put the ball in harm's way and to do any of that. There's no reason for that.
Yeah.
He got spotted 14 points. The Giants offense looked absolutely atrocious because you facing the best, and I'm not the best defense in the NFL. You can be the Niners in a second. It's close.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm taking Dallas Cowboys for my money because they got the best cornerback duo in the NFL. They got two top five corners. They got Michael Parsons, who I believe, again, slight edge. It's Bosa or Parsons. Take your pick. They're the best defensive players in the NFL. You got Dan Quinn, who is absolutely killing it. You will believe. You will.
Listen, I'm not. I still want to see. I want to see what the offense looks like because you can't just win a bowl solely on defense if your offense can't get the job done. So that was a fantastic game against absolutely disappointing Giants team that clearly was not prepared for what was going on. On that first drive for the New York Giants, they get downfield and they're in field goal position. They missed the field goal. But it looked like, okay, maybe they might be able to move the football a little bit. No, sir. Not whatsoever. That offensive line especially did Daniel Jones no favors in protecting him whatsoever. It just felt like every single play he was being pressured immediately. He had zero time to even go through his reads. I think he probably had a time to look at one read, and if it wasn't there, Micah Parsons and company were already there with him. So I think that's really what stood out to me from this game is really just how unprepared that Giants team was.
Are you ready to take back what you said that these two teams are finishing with the same record?
What were the records that I said?
10-7 apiece.
Both 10-7. Okay, yeah, I'll take that back. I'll say maybe the Dallas gets 11.
Maybe.
But like I said, I think it still remains to be seen. I want to see Dallas be challenged, you know.
Yeah.
And I think
their defense, their offense is going to be challenged again this Sunday.
Yeah, they'll be challenged. But remember, it's a matter of now, is the Jets offense going to be able to contend with them? Because if they can't put up any points, then it's just going to be.
Well, no, I think the Jets offense is going to get absolutely destroyed. I mean, it's going to be a interesting matchup between Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook against that defense because that's obviously one of the plug ups that the Dallas Cowboys tried to make in the offseason. I don't even think Mozzie Smith played against the Giants, if I'm not mistaken. I heard he didn't play. That's the first round pick that they drafted, defensive tackle to help shore up that defense. So it's going to be interesting to see that because they're going to hand the ball off a lot. They would be stupid to test those cornerbacks of Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore more than 10 times, Justin, maybe, and I'm being kind there. Garrett Wilson's in for a tough night.
They all are. They all are.
So I and then on the other side of the football, the Jets defense, it's going to be a tough day for the Cowboys offense. Okay, it is. It's probably going to be. Because that Jets defense is legit. Now, Sauce Gardner did get kind of picked apart in week one. I'm pretty sure there's only like 1 or 2 incompletions on him, if I'm not mistaken. Stephon Diggs was giving him some work. But all in all, it's going to be an interesting game. But we're going to get to that right now. Write this down real quick, Justin. Week 2 pick'em. You did your pick 'em already. I saw that, Justin. Very nice, very nice. Staying ahead of the game. I like it.
Are you picking? Are you gonna go through the rundown the way it says it on our thing
on Yahoo?
Yeah.
I'm on the ESPN app right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I could switch to the other one if you want.
No, that's right. That's fine because then at least you have the spreads too.
Yeah, I got everything. Yeah. All right, so. Thursday night football, Justin. Tonight. I don't know if you know, Justin, but I had a great weekend.
I can tell.
Yeah, I can tell. Except for the goddamn Broncos.
I warned you.
Justin, it was a gimme. I mean, you gotta be honest. Come on. Let's put seriously. Like, they should have won that game.
I didn't have an ounce of doubt.
It was in Mile High. The defense for the Raiders sucks. You know that.
So they suck so bad that they held Russell Wilson.
Okay, but this is before the game, Justin.
16 points.
All right, seriously though, if this was 10, 15 years ago, the Broncos win that game because they don't call that helmet-to-helmet play on Jacoby Myers, which rest up Jacoby Myers. I'm praying for him. Hope he's okay. But I'm just saying, they had the stop. I don't know what you want the defender to do. Had to make the tackle. Okay, that's besides the point. Thursday night football. The Minnesota Vikings are headed to Philadelphia. James Bradbury, the second best cornerback on the Eagles, is out due to a concussion. This is a short notice game, obviously, for both teams. We're coming off 5 days of rest. First game on Amazon Prime for the year. Justin, who do you got? The Philadelphia Eagles are favored by 6 points.
I think this is a big game for Minnesota, but unfortunately, this, much like last year, they walked into Philadelphia looking very good and got embarrassed. I could see this being a big game for Philly, a home game. I'm going to go with Philadelphia. I'll probably take the points too.
I'm going to take Philadelphia. I don't know about the points. Philly looked pretty bad. I will say this, though. There was a lot of bad football in week 1. There was a lot of bad football. A lot had to do with, obviously, players don't play as much in the preseason. And there was a lot of bad weather in the Northeast, especially the Northeast for that Sunday. So I think the Eagles are going to look better. I think the Vikings will look better. But I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know about the points. That one's a little tough for me, but I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles. Next up, Justin, 1 o'clock game. You boys, Las Vegas Raiders head to Buffalo for their home opener. Buffalo is favored by 9 points. Who you got?
I don't like that spread, but I'm going to take Buffalo. I think this is a big bounce-back game for Josh Allen. Honestly, I feel like the way shit can be skewed in the media about Josh Allen and the relationship with Stephon Diggs, I think if they lose this game, I'm just expecting so much worse. So I'm going to take Buffalo here. I think they bounce back.
Well, Stephen A. saying that, there's people telling them they're not getting along.
They're talking about it right now. First take, Josh Allen. Can he be trusted to get the Bills to the Super Bowl?
I'm telling you. He was propped up. I'm taking the Bills, though. I'm taking the Bills. They're not going to start off 0-2. The Raiders were lucky to walk away with the win on Sunday, so I'm taking the Bills. I don't know about that spread either, Justin. I don't really like that because the Raiders do have an explosive offense. That's something I'm never going to take away from them. They have Devontae Adams. They have Jacob. Well, Jacoby's probably not going to play. I don't think Hunter Renfrow played either. They got Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, another team that didn't look so good. Home opener: Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Cincinnati is favored by 3.5. Who you got, Justin?
Wow, the Cincinnati, that's a game that we didn't touch on. We didn't talk about how bad Cincinnati looked in that game. I don't think Joe Burrow even threw for over 100 yards.
No, 82 yards, yeah. But I think that's more attributed to the bad weather again. And the guy who – he looked like a guy who hasn't played football in a month and was getting thrown into real time in bad weather. And I think that's – and the Browns defense is legit. Like, it's legit.
Maybe so, but that did not look good. So – with that being said, I'm taking Baltimore. I know Baltimore didn't look all that.
Lamar didn't look good at all.
Lamar didn't look fantastic either, but I think divisional game, I'm going to take Baltimore +3.
All right. So you think Cincinnati starts off 0-2?
Hey, yep, I'm going with Baltimore.
They started off 0-2 last year, if I'm not mistaken, too. I think they lost to Pittsburgh and then the Cowboys with Cooper Rush, week 1 and week 2, if I'm not mistaken. But I am going to say the Cincinnati Bengals get the job done. I don't think they're going to start off 0-2 again. And yeah, I got the Bengals winning, coming in, tying for the same record as the Browns. I got them coming in second in the AFC North. So I think the Cincinnati Bengals get the job done. I think it's a close game. Again, I think a lot of players are going to look better this week. Hopefully, I think it's going to be good weather all around. So I think Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, Joe Shiesty, I think them boys are going to look pretty good. So I got the Cincinnati Bengals. And I'm interested to see what the Baltimore Ravens look like too, because I'm excited for that. Justin, did I let you know I've got Sunday ticket now too?
How much did you spend on that?
So me and my brother are splitting it, so 50 apiece.
Oh, that's it? It's only $100?
Yeah.
Oh.
For 4. Well, no. Oh, sorry, a month.
Oh.
Yeah. Justin went, but it's 4 months. It's September, October, November, December. Then you can cancel it at the end of that.
So $100 a month for 4 months.
Yes.
Yikes.
You can keep it if you want, but you're just going to be paying for no football.
Jeez.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'll be watching that game. Next up, we got the Chiefs, the reigning defending Super Bowl champions, 0-1, going to Jacksonville. Justin, who you got? Jacksonville is. No, Kansas City is favored by 3.5.
Listen, this was a tough one for me to pick. A lot of me wants to go with Jacksonville, but I also just can't envision Kansas City starting off 0-2. Like I said, a real big part of me wants to go Jacksonville here, but I'm gonna go Kansas City. I'm assuming Travis Kelce is back. I know Chris Jones should be back as well. Seeing what this team looks like, hopefully Kelce is healthy enough to give it a go the whole way. So, especially for my fantasy team as well. So I'm gonna go with Kansas City.
Yeah, I think Kansas City. I don't think they're going to start off 0-2. Even though Jacksonville looked pretty good, Calvin Ridley is looking legit. That connection is going to be legit for years to come now. Trevor Lawrence to Calvin Ridley, and then Travis Etienne in the backfield. Evan Ingram. That's a nice 3-headed monster with T-Law and that beautiful blonde hair of his. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Taking this game. I think it's going to be a close game. I would go with the over. I think both teams are going to put up a lot of points. I don't know if Travis Kelce plays, and even if he does, I don't know what he's going to be because they're talking that knee is a little bit more serious than people are leading on. Chris Jones is going to play, but I got the Kansas City Chiefs taking that game. Next up, Justin, the Los Angeles Superchargers are going to Tennessee to take on the Titans. 2 0-1 teams. The Chargers are favored by -3. Who you got?
I have to take the Chargers. I tuned in a bit to the Saints and Titans game, and that the Titans had that game in the bag. Literally, Ryan Tannehill just
not the guy.
It quite literally was the reason they lost. 3 interceptions. It was an absolute disaster. The game was decided by I think 1 point. It was 16-15. Nick Folk was responsible for every single one of the Tennessee Titans points. Titans don't look good. You need a quarterback. Ryan Tannehill's not the guy. Give me the others. That was bad. That was
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins. You made the wrong choice, like I said.
Yep,
You made the wrong choice because you saw what Mac Jones looked like. You wanted to be in that offense, okay? Fucking idiot. Next up, the Green Bay Packers, 2-1-0 teams, are headed to Atlanta. Hotlanta, take on the Falcons. Green Bay is favored by 1 point. Who you got, Justin? Falcons or Packers?
Yo, man, shouts out to our old co-host, John, who was big time on the Jordan Love train. Jordan Love starting week 1 off with 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Jordan Love and the Packers. I think Atlanta struggled to really get the offense going for a while. Granted, they won, I think, by 2 possessions, but it took a minute to hear anything from Kyle Pitts in that game. And then I don't think Drake London caught a single pass. For a while, while I was looking at the game on Gamecast, I think Desmond Ridder was barely throwing the ball for any yards. I think he connected with Kyle Pitts later for like a 40-yard bomb, and then that was it. But Falcons offense leaves a lot on the table, so I'm going to go with Green Bay.
The running game is legit.
Big week.
Yeah, the running game is legit for Atlanta, Algier and Bijan. Definitely want more Kyle Pitts. I mean, what are we doing here? Desmond Ridder, I don't think he's the guy. I think the Falcons are kind of figuring that out. This is a tough game because Atlanta is a home is a home team that I would usually bet on and be like, they're in Atlanta. Green Bay is not super impressive to me, so I would take Atlanta. But Green Bay's defense is legit. Jair Alexander is that dude. He's a top 5 cornerback in this league. And I do like Romeo Doubs. Christian Watson didn't play in week 1. I think he's scheduled to play in week 2. People are high on that Reed kid. You got the two. You got Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, although Aaron Jones I don't think is going to be playing this week in the backfield. You got a very good offensive line, top 3 in the NFC, top 4, wherever you want to put it. I'm going to go Green Bay. I think it's going to be a close game because I think Atlanta knows what they are, and that's a run-first team, and they're going to be feeding Algier and Bijan. But I'm going to go with Green Bay in a very close game, though, Justin. I got to be honest with you. Next up, we've got the Seattle Seahawks starting off 0-1, headed to Detroit to take on the Lions, who got a massive win in the season opener. Detroit's favored by 4.5. Justin, you're walking back what you said about Seattle. They ain't that impressive.
I'm going to stick with that, man. I'm telling you, that was a one-year wonder. They kind of showed that. I expected them to at least get one from the Rams in week 1, and instead they lost, I believe, 30-13. Yeah. So couldn't make much happen there. I'm going to go with Detroit.
You're not high on Seattle. I apologize. You're not high.
Yeah, I'm not high on Seattle at all. So I'm going to take Detroit, and I'm going to take the points. I like to think that, I think the Motor City is going to be rocking first home game for these Lions. So
yeah, especially knocking off the Kansas City Chiefs. Mm-hmm. That Detroit, the Motor City is going to be Eminem, Kid Rock. What do you want to do? Put your picture away. Sat back and cried today.
All right.
I can't look at you. Come on, Justice. Sing it, man. I know he's not a popular character. He's not a popular character. But I got the Detroit Lions. You know how I feel about the Lions. Everybody knows how I feel about the Lions. They are legit, in my opinion. The defense obviously did a fantastic job on Patrick Mahomes. But I think there are still holes, and I think that's obviously going to be their weak point. The offensive is explosive. David Montgomery is a solid banger of a back. The offensive line is arguably the best in the NFC, and it's right up there in the entire league, to be honest with you. Penei Sewell is just a monster. You got St. Brown, who is a legit number 1. Jameson Williams isn't even playing yet. That offense is legit. Jared Goff, like I've said, is playing inspired football. They are led by a coach that everybody loves, respects, and would run through a wall for in MCDC Dan Campbell. The Detroit Lions are going to beat the Seattle Seahawks, and I think I like your pick of the points, Justin. I think they do clear because I do think the Seattle Seahawks, man, didn't look good. And also DK Metcalf, what are we doing, guy? We're fucking blasting a Rams defensive back when you're down 30-13. Come on, man. Sore loser shit there. Come on, buddy. Get locked up by some undrafted players. You mad? You big mad, aren't you? Yeah. Next up, Colts Texans, both 0-1, Justin, in Houston. I don't know why they're letting these rookie quarterbacks throw 35, 40 times in their first game. It doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. We're in a new league. Who you got? Indy's favored by 1 point.
So it's a pick 'em. Honestly, I'm going to go with Houston. I think I was high on them going into the year. I don't think they're going to be a bad group of guys. I think C.J. Stroud's going to get better and better. Same thing with A. Rich, but I think Damian Pierce is going to run the hell out of the ball, and they're going to do their thing. Expecting something out of John Mechie this week.
Yeah, he didn't play last week due to a knee injury.
I don't know if he'll be available for this week.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because I'm excited to see him on the football field. He was one of my sleeper picks in our fantasy football draft. But yeah, Damian Pierce only got 11 carries. That's what I'm saying. Like, why are we letting C.J. Stroud throw the ball 30 plus times? Like, what? In a game where you don't need it too, it was. I know the Ravens won by 25-9, but it was pretty close relatively. Just run the ball. I don't get it. Who do I got in that game? Terrible game. I'll take Houston. They're at home. Get a win for the home crowd. H-Town deserves it. Yeah, go Houston.
Okay.
Next up, I'm sorry. That game it's one of the games where I'm like, yeah, I don't care, Justin.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Next up, a game that I'm loving. I'm going to love. You like that, Justin? Baker Mayfield's home opener in Tampa Bay, welcoming the Chicago Bears. The Bears. Tampa's favored by 2.5. People are starting to believe. People are starting to walk back their statements. I'm my boy Baker. They're going to see. You're going to witness. You tweeted at me. You ate your words. 6 for 15. Take that win and shove it straight up your candy ass. Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay Buccaneers are winning this game, Justin.
Going into that game, obviously I wasn't on the Tampa train. After the first half, or minutes before the end of the first half, Baker Mayfield did not look good at all. Finally, there was some life after a touchdown to Mike Evans. I think I'm going to take the Bears in this one, though. I think Justin Fields he needs to have one of those explosive games. I think him and DJ Moore didn't have the debut that I was initially expecting. Kirk Cousins shredded this defense, throwing for over 300-plus yards. I think Justin Fields is going to have a nice day. I give Chicago the edge on the road.
This is. Come on, you're not being serious right now. Now you're just doing that.
So serious. Listen. I'm the one that's not afraid to play the upsets. I'm gonna go with the Bears.
You're doing this to piss me off.
I'm
doing this to piss me off. Kirk Cousins got shut down in the second half, and so did Justin Jefferson by that defense. I told you that defense is back. I told you that.
We've known that.
No, we didn't know that.
We've known the Vikings defense was bad.
No, I'm talking about the Bucs defense.
Oh.
Rashad White, I don't know if you know this, Justin. Rashad White was on a podcast or an interview after the game, and he said at halftime, Baker Mayfield walked in and said, "I got it."
Yeah, I know. He had all the signs.
That's mental game right there. That's dare I say Brady-esque, Peyton-esque from Baker? What?
I don't know about that, Brandon. I think you see everything when it comes to Baker in a different light.
A lot of people are big mad, and it's okay. But moving on, next up, your New York Football Giants are taking on the Arizona Cardinals in Arizona. The Giants are favored by -5.5. Give me the Giants. This is a win. This is a game they need to win. They got punched in the mouth multiple times. They got knocked out by the Dallas Cowboys, and they need to come back and gain some more respect. And this is a easy week to get it. This is a gimme for them. They should be able to beat up on the Arizona Cardinals. Give me the New York Football Giants.
I'm not even going to say it's just an easy win. I think Arizona gave Washington some fits in that game. Jonathan Gannon, as you see some of the clips of him as a coach, things look very weird. But he's looking for killers on defense, and they laid some hits out in Washington. They played tough on defense. Offensively, Josh Dobbs can only do so much. But I'm going to take the Giants here, but I expect it to be closer than a lot of people think. What's the spread?
-5.5 Giants.
Fine. I'll take that. Maybe say Giants by 7.
Yeah, honestly, Justin, the Washington Commanders, they suck too. So freaking Chase Young can't even get on the football field. Guy's going to end up being a bust if he can't get on the field. What are we doing, man? Next up, your team. Your boys.
How many teams?
You got like 1,000 teams, Justin. We all know that. The San Francisco 49ers are headed to LA to take on the Rams. Rams look much improved. San Francisco is still favored by 8. Justin, who you got?
I'm taking San Francisco. They looked absolutely insane. Defense was great. Offense was great. Brandon Ayuk taking that next step like a lot of people expected. I think he's the guy in the receiving corps to look out for. And it's not Deebo Samuel anymore. He's the guy. He'll scare you, but Ayuk is that guy who will route you up and grab 7 receptions and 100-plus yards and a touchdown. I'm afraid. Everybody should be afraid of the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, I got San Francisco, but I think the Rams are this is going to be an interesting game for the Rams because let's see if those receivers are legit. Puka and Tutu, can they do it against this defense? Obviously, people are going to be like, hell no. We're going to see. I will say the running game was obviously non-existent for the Los Angeles Rams. Even on Sunday, they had less than 100 total yards rushing. Cam Akers, Justin, went 22 carries for 29 yards. That's 1.3 a pop. So he's going to need some help from the rushing game. But, yeah, I got the San Francisco 49ers. I would be interested to see. Do you think that the Rams get blown out? You think they can cover that -8?
-8? I mean, I would probably go alternate spread and say +10.
Okay.
Just to be safe.
Yeah, it's going to be a interesting game. Next up, we kind of picked it. Jets at Dallas. Dallas is favored by 9. Who you got, Justin?
I got Dallas, but I'm taking +9 for the Jets.
Okay, that's a smart bet because, like I said, I think Dallas's offense will struggle against that Jets defense, but I think the Dallas Cowboys are gonna. It's not going to look easy, but I think it's going to be easy to take this game. I got the Dallas Cowboys winning this game. Next up of the final games of the 4 o'clock slate, the Washington Commanders head to Denver. The Denver Broncos are favored by -3.5. Justin, who we got?
You said Denver versus Washington?
Yes.
In Mile High, I think Denver needs this one, or else chatters about Russ and Sean Payton are going to start. I got Denver winning this. What's the spread again?
-3.5 Denver.
Ooh. I'm not taking those points. I don't know. That's too close for me.
You don't like it?
No.
Yeah, I mean it was a 1-point game last week, so
yeah, I'm not taking.
Yeah,
that.
this is week 2 shouldn't really necessarily be must wins, but for a team like the Denver Broncos, your first 2 games are at home. You blew your season home opener to the Raiders. Sean Payton, new head coach. Russell Wilson supposed to be reinvigorated. That defense. This is a must-win game. You have to beat the freaking Commanders. You have to beat the Commanders. You have to. You just have to, man. All right? You just have to, Justin.
That'll be bad if they start off 0-2.
It will be very, very bad because the talking will start. Because they were, back page news week 1. News again. You're going to be freaking front page news, buddy. And final game for the Sunday slates. We missed the Patriots game last week in our pick'em, but I'm because in my favorite teams, Justin, I go down the list and the Patriots are usually on top, and I forget to go back. But now because they're 8 o'clock game, I remembered. Sunday Night Football in New England. The Dolphins are coming to town, Justin. Miami is favored by 3. Who you got?
I'm taking New England to get the W at home. I think they'll surprise a lot of people. Tua is undefeated against New England in his career, 4-0. I think we put an end to that. They had a nice week 1, but I think they get a real taste of a real defense, and they're going to have to start figuring things out. I think after what I saw out of New England in week 1, you have to build off of that. To me, this is a must win for us if we want to contend. Got to show that we can beat these guys. Yeah. Can't let Tua beat us 5 times.
No, we can't continuously lose this game. It's in New England. We had a game last Sunday that we should have won. This defense is worse than the defense we just went up against, and Mac threw 3 touchdowns for and 316 yards.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game that Mac Jones should thrive in. That defense from New England I'm talking about now should be able to get pressure on Tua, should be able to stifle at least Tyreek or Jalen Waddle. I expect Bill to shut down one of them. I don't think Teron Armstead is playing yet, their left tackle, so that helps out Judon in that pass rush. Give me the New England Patriots taking this game in New England. Next up, our final 2 games, Monday Night Football, Justin. The Saints headed to Carolina to take on the Panthers. The Saints are favored by 3 points. We got
Bryce Young's going to have his hands full with the Saints defense. I'm going to easily take the Saints.
I'm going to take the Saints too. If the Panthers were a better team, I think that they could beat the Saints because the Saints are usually a home team and they struggle on the road. But I'm going to take the Saints. Derek Carr's there. They looked better. You're the Saints. Final game of the week, Justin. Cleveland Browns. My number 1 seed in the AFC.
LOL.
Headed to Pittsburgh to take on. Wipe that yawn off your face, Justin. To take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cleveland's favored by 2.5. People are starting to believe. We got.
Steelers got off to a horrible start, man. That was ugly against the 49ers, but they started to piece it together a little bit later in the game. Kenny Pickett made some good throws, but also had some ugly ones where he would throw some behind guys where people were open. So anytime Pittsburgh had a chance, he kind of messed it up for them. They didn't run the ball well. I'm going to take Pittsburgh to bounce back this week at home. I think this is a tough division. I think Pittsburgh needs to defend their home turf.
You got Pittsburgh. I do think this is going to be a tough game for Cleveland to win. Pittsburgh got punched in the mouth against the Niners.
TJ Watt is an absolute
He's
madman.
an animal. And guess who else is an animal? Myles Garrett is an absolute animal, too. And Denzel Ward was doing his thing, too. No Deontay Johnson. Kenny Pickett didn't look that much more improved. Obviously, he's playing one of the best defenses in the NFL. I got Cleveland. I think it's to be close. I'm not even comfortable taking the -2.5. But I got Cleveland winning a very, very close game in Pittsburgh. But I had Pittsburgh starting off 0-2, if I'm not mistaken, anyway, and I'm finishing 9-8. So I think they're going to be fine. Just everybody relax. Nobody, I swear to God, if they go 0-2 and I start hearing fucking people go, Mike Tomlin's got to go, he's got to be fired, I'm going to lose my goddamn shit.
No.
Because I don't want to go through that again because, God damn it, people, the grass ain't always greener on the other side, Justin.
Hey, man, well, listen, Pittsburgh has weapons. I think Deontay Johnson looked pretty good in that game, too. George Pickens, you feed him the ball. He made an insane catch in the end zone.
Yeah.
He fell out of bounds.
Yeah. Well, Deontay's out. He's not going to be playing.
Yeah, I know. So,
and you got to be – here's something I've heard about George Pickens. I don't know if you've heard, too, Justin, is people always are lauding him for his insane catches, and people are starting to realize, obviously, the experts of the game, the guy doesn't separate. That can't get open.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're making all these goddamn insane catches, right? But, like, can you get open? Can the catches not be always tough and insane?
No.
Can we get some easy ones? So that's something that's got to be fixed. Because people are starting to talk. Experts are starting to talk. Can't get open, bro. Gotta get open. Listen, did you see the androids? You didn't see the androids at the Chargers game?
Oh, I saw, like, a picture of it on Instagram.
There were androids. The concession stands walking around in the seats.
Why?
All I'm saying, Justin, is iRobot is coming sooner rather than later.
That's the first thing that came to my mind.
If you get one, I'm just saying this now. Please treat them with respect. Okay, Don't fuck with them. Don't play games. Just saying, Justin.
Will Smith can't save everybody.
No, he can't. All right, he's dealing with his own shit right now. By the way, Tom Brady will not play for the New York Jets. Let's all just
imagine
it out. All right, people are freaking. I'm goddamn done with that talk. Fucking call Brady. He's gonna come. No, he would never play for the New York Jets. I wanted to ask you this question, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is an interesting stat. I don't know if you know. Josh Allen falls to 0-5 in overtime games, including playoffs.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. That's not good, is it? Is it, Justin?
What is that what you want to talk about?
No. I just wanted to okay, here it is. So I saw this poll 2 days ago. Basketball topic. Sorry, Justin. I should have probably prefaced that.
Just a heads up, my computer is on its last life and I have no charger.
Okay. We'll wrap it up. Rank these 4 players for me real quick. Jamal Murray, Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young.
Jamal Murray, Kyrie Irving, Donovan Mitchell, and Trae Young?
Yes.
I'm going to take Kyrie 1.
Okay.
I'm going to take Jamal Murray 2. I think he shows out in the playoffs. I'm going to go Donovan Mitchell 3, and I'm going to go Trae 4.
Yeah. So I basically have the same list as you, but I swapped Jamal. I have Jamal, Kyrie, Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young. People are, shouting Trae Young from the rooftop. He is just way too inefficient and a turnover machine, and he's literally, I'm not even kidding, he's the worst defensive player in the league. It's not even he just is. He just is.
I just think the reason I put Jamal Murray 2 is people need to start putting some respect on his name. I think he goes a little bit hidden because everybody's so focused on the joke.
They focus on he's the 2.
Yeah, but that dude absolutely shows out, and year in and year out, whenever he's available for the playoffs, he does his thing. So, guy can score at will.
The guy did 50, 40, 90 in the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers. I mean, come on, man. All right, so Justin has to head out. Colorado had another insanely impressive game against Nebraska. They play Colorado State this weekend, but the big 2 games are the week after, Justin, Oregon, and then USC.
USC, can't wait for that one.
I can't wait for those 2 games. Thursday Night Football is tonight, Justin. Get excited. Amazon Prime. Get the membership. You got the membership?
Yeah, of course.
You got it? They're starting to charge a lot more money, Justin. I don't like it. I really don't. I'm going to be honest with you.
No, they are. What is it? I think it's like $16.30 something a month.
Oh, you pay the month? Oh, dude, you got to switch to the yearly, man. You're spending way too much more money.
No, I don't have my own account. No.
Oh, okay. You're trying to cheat the system. You probably shouldn't say that online. They're watching.
No, I'm with my parents.
Yeah, but they're always listening.
It'll be fun.
Oh, here's it. Where do you have Daniel Jones ranked among quarterbacks?
That's something that I have to actually go down the list of. So I don't even think I can give you an answer there. At the moment, I'd say probably top 20.
Still okay. Still have him top 20. Bottom of that though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And here's a debate I had on last Saturday, and I wanted to pose this to the audience and you. Is there a difference between prime and peak? See, to me,
yes, there is.
Okay, thank you.
I'd say your prime is that portion of your career where you're just supposed to shine at your best. And when I say peak, I think of that one season that was your greatest standout. So like you touch on Josh Allen, 2020 was his peak. I don't think it means – I think that's his peak season. That's his highest that he's ever reached. Like Tom Brady's 50 touchdown season, is that his peak of his career or no? I actually think the peak of his career is probably later on after that. Prime is just that when you're what? I think mid-20s to early 30s, that's your prime. That's your prime when you're expected to have your best years.
Yes, that's exactly
so ridiculous.
Yes, that's exactly what I said to my friend Carl Ill, who was trying to get literal with me, where prime is derived from the word primo, and it means one. And I'm like, I know literally, but in sports terms, prime is your, like you said, 26, 27 to 33, 34 is your prime usually, and it can vary for certain players, right? Obviously, but that's kind of where we usually aim it, where it's your physical prime and your mental prime are kind of meeting at a peak, and then obviously your peak is your absolute apex, your best, what you are. Got into a very heated argument about that. Started with LeBron versus MJ, but
no, you and I are on the same page.
Yeah, good. And I wanted to pose that to everybody. So everybody tell me, is there a difference between prime and peak? And if there is, explain it to me and explain it to my friend Car Illy so he can learn, and my boy Aiden so he can learn as well, because they also want to be on the podcast too. They're talking a lot of junk. To be honest, I whoop them in debates all the time. But I will be having them on soon. They just need a setup and stuff. You met, if you watch the fantasy football draft party, you heard from them. You probably maybe saw them in the background, but yeah, can't wait.
Alrighty.
Sunday Night Football. Justin's gonna go. I'm gonna cover a little UFC at the end of this, and actually, I don't really even want to talk about it. Maybe I'll talk about it another time. Maybe I'll live stream it when it's happening, but. Thank you all for watching episode 126 with us, staying along. If you watch this long, please give us a like. If you're a new subscriber, subscribe to the channel. Please turn on the notification bell to be notified when we go live, when we post videos. Follow us on our social medias. Our personals, links are in the description, or the Wise Guys itself, links are also in the description there. Just click on the link tree. You go to our Twitter, you go to our Instagram, you go to our TikTok. We're posting on that. I'm very active on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I'm trying to be more active on TikTok. Comment with me. I love the interactions. I love interacting with you. Start yelling at Justin to get more active on Twitter and get his own TikTok so we can start getting with them. But share the content with your friends and family, with your people on social media. Comment along with us. Like I said, we love the interactions. I'm going to interact with you if you say something. So comment along. If you want to get into a debate, I'm always down for the debate. I'm always bowdy. Brandon's always
comment along with Brandon. He'll disrespect you anytime.
I'm not disrespecting. I'm stating facts, bro. And if you can't handle the facts, get out of the kitchen. Facts over feelings. But that's going to wrap everything up for week 1 and week 2, the NFL season. I've been Brandon Capozziello. That was Justin Ray.
Stay classy, guys.
Laters, Gators.